Hi guys, welcome back. So today's video is about FamilySearch. I know it's been a while. So they actually have a new section, a discovery section here on FamilySearch, and it's kind of about pioneers, or you learning about your ancestors that are pioneers and just learning more about them and their trek to the west. So I guess let's get started. So this is the homepage of FamilySearch once you log in. Um, And they have over here like the family history activities and recommend tasks. And then over here some recommendations of activities to do or things to do. And then down below is recent memories that have been added to FamilySearch on your family tree. So we're going to pay attention to this section right here of activities. Right now it has your relatives made the trek as a child, which is what we're going to pay attention to. But if you hit like next, it will be like here's temple ordinances or get free accounts on other websites. Get your DNA questions answered here. Celebrate your ancestors' special events. Generally what you see right here in this little block changes throughout the year and it's constantly always changing. So I always go through and see all the slides every time I come into FamilySearch to see what's new or, you know, whatever activities they have going on for the moment. This one's new, at least to me. So we're going to learn about this little new section. So it says your relatives that made the trek as a child. And it says discover your relatives. So we're going to click on discover your relative. And it will take us to this page right here. So which is going to be all about our ancestors that traveled west as a child. So here we are back on the home page. If this isn't here on the activity section and you want to get to the child's page, you can actually just come up here to the web address and type FamilySearch.org/campaign/pioneer child. And yep, it takes you right back to the page. So if that's not on the home page, just type that /campaign/pioneer child and it will take you here. So I guess let's learn about this new page on FamilySearch. So this is the Pioneer Children page on FamilySearch. So right here is about your ancestors. They're going to list your ancestor and say this is your X amount great grandfather or great grandmother who made the trek west as a child. We have a picture of the grandfather, his name, the years he was alive, his ID on FamilySearch, and then photos and relationships. So if we click on the relative's name, it should take us to his personal page here on FamilySearch. And sure enough, it does. It takes us to his personal page. And here we could just scroll through and learn more about that ancestor or go through any of these tabs to view more about them. Let's go back. Okay, and then like I said, the birth year, the ID. Then right here it has view photos and stories. And if we click on that, it'll take us to their memory section on their personal page. And that way we can view the photos and stories of your ancestors. And then you can learn, and if they have a story, then you can learn more about their trek to the west. So I clicked on that, and sure enough, it brought us to their memory page on their personal page. See, look, now we have tons of photos. And if we scroll down, there's some documents and there's some stories. So let's go back. So then down here is view relationship. That way you can actually figure out how you're related to that ancestor and on what side of the family tree. If you click on that, it should come up with a pop-up box. And sure enough, it came up with a pop-up box saying how I am related to that ancestor. So yep, we'll just hit the X to close that. And then over here it just has information about the ancestor. They departed going west when they were 6 years old, and they traveled for 61 days. Ooh, that's a long time. Well, it's only 2 months, but walking for 2 months sounds miserable. And this ancestor traveled with the Samuel D. White Company, and they departed August 15th, 1863. If we click on the Samuel D. White Company, it should bring us up with the church history website, and we can learn more about the Samuel D. White Company. And sure enough, it has. It's brought us up to the history of the Church of Jesus Christ .org page, and this is the Samuel D. White Company. So this is Samuel D. White. He was the leader of the company. It says like all the information about that company down here. So they had wagons. They went westbound. When they departed, where they departed from, when they arrived, and how many people were in their company. And generally, like right here is a bigger paragraph, not just a one-liner about the company or more about the company. And then down below here in all the blue stuff is some sources. So if you really want to learn more about the company and how the church got this information, you would just click on all these sources and view them. And then if you want to look at the individuals who had been part of the company, you just hit this little section over here that says individuals, and it will list all the individuals that were part of that company. And then if you find one that you like, let me scroll down. Okay, to like John Stevens that we saw earlier. If we click on their name, it will bring us up to their personal page and we can learn more about that ancestor. So John here has a picture, date of birth, date of death, gender, where you can find him on FamilySearch, information about him, what company he traveled with, age of departure, who he traveled with in his family, and then down below, once again, is sources of how the church knows this information. So, yeah. So this is kind of cool and fun to me to see all of this. So let's go back. So here we are back to FamilySearch Pioneer Children page. So we saw this ancestor, but if you want to view more of your ancestors, in my case it's 20 of them because we are on page 1 out of 20, you can just hit the arrows and it will take you to a new ancestor. So this one, it doesn't tell us exactly how I'm related, but I can click the view relationship and see how I'm related to that ancestor. And once again, it has pretty much the same information, a photo, a name, the years they were alive, their ID on FamilySearch, going to their memory page on FamilySearch, viewing your relationship with them, how old they are, when they departed, how many days they traveled, and what company they traveled with. And you can just scroll through and view all your relatives, at least in my case, the 20 relatives that traveled to the west. So I'm going to scroll down because there's more to this page. So they have this cute little quiz down at the bottom, or a cute little game. And it says, walk a mile in their shoes, their small shoes, because they were children. So what personality trait do you share with pioneer children? Take our quest to discover which real pioneer you're most likely like. So let's take this quiz and figure out what kind of pioneer trait I have and what kind of pioneer I'm most likely like. So start the quiz. What would you bring on a pioneer trek? A book, a pet, a musical instrument, or a board game? I'm not. I don't have any pets. Never really cared for them. Don't really care for reading. Don't know how to play a musical instrument besides the piano, which would suck to bring west. So I'm going with the board game. What pioneer job would you like? Pushing a handcart. Oh, I've done that with Trek. That wasn't fun. Cooking supper. Rather push the handcart. Help lead the oxen. Does that mean I have to take care of the oxen too? I'll lead them. I just don't want to take care of them. Or set up camp. Think I'm gonna go with set up camp. I'm gonna assume with leading the oxen, I would have to take care of the oxen, and I don't like pushing hand carts, and I really hate cooking. So I'm gonna go with setting up camp. You arrived! Yay! Choose an item to keep from your journey. Fossil or gold? Fool's gold. I'm gonna go with the fossil because that's cooler than fool's gold. Granted, I do have fool's gold. I am a darling. Aw, thanks, FamilySearch. So being a darling means you love adventure and sometimes like to take a risk. That is true. But your bravery carries you through. Aw. Okay. That's cute. Because I'm a darling. And then Agnes here was also a darling like me. And I guess it gives us a little information about Agnes here. She was only 9 when she started her travel with the Willie Handcart Company. Oh, poor child. She went with the Willie Handcart Company. And then one day came across an area full of rattlesnakes, mustered the courage. She took her friend's merry hands and they prayed together and jumped over each one of the rattlesnakes. That is scary. Good job, girls. And then when Agnes was the most afraid, she was daring enough to take a leap of faith. Literally, she jumped over rattlesnakes and prayed, so she literally took leaps of faith. That's a cute little story about Agnes. And then, like they said, she was 9 when she departed. She traveled for 118 days. Oh, poor Willie Handcart Company. Poor Willie. And then, like they said, she traveled with the Willie Handcart Company, and we can click on this to learn more about the Willie Handcart Company on the church history page. We can also click on Agnes's name right here, and it should take us to her personal page on FamilySearch. Oh, nope, it takes us to her personal page here on the church history website. So this is what Agnes looks like, her birthday, her death date, and all about her and who she traveled with and what company and the sources. So let's close this and go back to the FamilySearch page. So here we are on the FamilySearch page. Says you can view photos and stories. I think this one might actually take us to the FamilySearch one. Yep, sure enough it does. This takes us to the FamilySearch page. And here are some photos of Agnes. And if we scroll down, there's documents and some stories. That way we can learn more about Agnes and get to know her better. And not just know the rattlesnake story. Get to really truly know her trek. Aw, that's so cool to have all these photos of her. So let's close. Then once again, you can share on Facebook or we can take the quiz again. So I want to take the quiz again just to see what it will pull up, to see if they all pull up darling or if they pull up something different. So taking the quiz again, let's start the quiz. I'm going to go with everything that's the opposite of what I would normally choose. So I'm going to go with the pet, cooking supper, and food's gold. Oh, look, it has the same 3 questions. That's good to know. Determined. So I am not determined. Apparently, that's my opposite. Being determined means that you keep going and don't quit, even when things get hard. So Fred here is determined. He was 13 years old, and his shoes were falling apart on the trail. He walked with sore feet until he had to crawl on his hands and knees. Oh my gosh, that's so sad. His shoes probably got so worn through that he got blisters and sores all over his feet and he had to crawl. Aww. But he still fell behind, obviously, because he was crawling. When his father realized what had happened, he went back to Fred and carried him back to the group on his shoulders. Aw, that's a good father. Despite the injured feet, Fred still had the strength and will and determination to carry on. Fred traveled with the Jesse Murray Company, and he left when he was 13 years old, and luckily only had to travel 73 days. But that's so sad. His shoes fell apart and got sores all over his feet. And these stories are so heartbreaking. And we got to give some serious props to these people for making that trek to the West because it wasn't easy. Doesn't matter what time of year you left, it was still a horrible nightmare. And you still have to hear these horrible stories like this. Just so sad. They did have a lot of strength and courage and determination and faith and everything else to just travel to the West. I just so glad I don't have to do that. I'm so glad traveling nowadays is so much easier than what our pioneer heritage had to go through. Oh. So once again, we can click on Fred's name and it will take us to um the church history page. Let's do that. So here's George Fred as an adult, and here's some information about him. Let's go back. Once again, if we click on the Jesse Murphy Company, we can learn about that company and them traveling to the West. And once again, the same goes. We take the quiz again. We can share on Facebook, or we can view photos and stories of Fred on FamilySearch. So let's click on that. And yep, here we are in the FamilySearch. And we can view more photos of Fred here and some documents and quite a bit of stories. So, oh look, he also helped build the St. George Temple. So, yeah. So let's go back. So, and then if we just scroll down, it says who it was brought to you by. So that's pretty much all that is to this page, which is the FamilySearch Pioneer Children's page or child page. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, enjoyed this section of FamilySearch, and you take the time to go and see if you have any pioneer ancestors. And if you do, take the time to learn about each one and really get to know them and really get to know their travel to the West and how horrible it was. So yeah, this is actually just the Pioneer Children's page on FamilySearch. They actually do have a Pioneer page where it's like literally everybody. And it goes through adults and children who left to go to the West. I've done a video on that, and I will leave that in the description box below. That way, if you want to learn about adult ancestors who left to the West and became pioneers, you can learn about those, and you don't have to learn just about the children. But it's good to learn about the children and the adults. So, yeah, I hope you guys take the time and opportunity to come and view this page and learn about your ancestors, especially if you're from Utah and you actually are having this 24th of July holiday around this time of year, and we're actually learning about our pioneer heritage and celebrating them. So, Utahns, go and learn about your pioneer heritage. um, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, please comment below. I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. If you guys have any suggestions on anything else I should film, please also comment below. And I hope you guys all have a beautiful week. Bye!